Okay, so here we are. We are in the Pontiac Fire Department, and I'm here with Scott Runyon. He is now the fire chief, and he has a little bit of a story to tell as he is soon on his way out. So tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, how long you've done it, and some history.
I've been with Pontiac Fire Department since 1989, so 30 years are coming up next week, actually. Be retiring middle of August. I'm going to miss the place, but it's time to move on. What really got me into this was I was born and raised in Fairbury, and I worked at a shop over there, and a lady came running in our shop, kind of panicking that there was a guy down just outside where I worked.
Yeah.
So, kind of dropped everything at that point, ran out there. The guy was completely unconscious. I knew enough about CPR to go to work, so we went to work on this guy. Fortunately, he'd been down long enough he didn't make it, but at that point, kind of spurred me along the lines of, I really just need to help people.
Oh, yeah?
It was just, was never really that interested prior to that. Did the work, joined Fairbury Fire Department in 1987.
How many years was that after this initial experience?
Probably about 3 months, 2 months.
All right.
I actually knew some people on the department, so that kind of helps get me on there. Joined 1987. In late 1987, Pontiac Fire Department was doing their eligibility testing. I came over and tested here, and I ended up number 2 on the list. So, about 2 months before that expired in 1989, I got a phone call from then Chief Don Ford, and offered me a position, and here it is.
So you were in here full time about less than 3 years,
Yes.
and then you got that chief position.
The chief position started in 1989. We had 6 full-time guys plus a deputy chief and a chief and a secretary in the office here. And was hired as a engineer firefighter, which that means I drove the truck.
Yep.
We had 1 lieutenant on the truck, just 2 of us that rolled out of here. Ran like that for quite some time. We progressed up to worked on a 3-man shift. We had a floater guy that kind of did a really odd shift that I didn't care for, but guys wanted it bad enough and they did it. We ended up becoming a 4-man shift. Oh God, I lost track on that. Somewhere 2000, it was probably 2001, 2002. 9/11 changes a lot of things in this industry. So in 2000, let's take a step back to 89. Don Ford was here. Dave Lotman, everybody knew Dave. He worked for the city forever. Was deputy chief. In 2000, he got promoted, or 1990, he got promoted to chief. Don Ford went across the street for about 6 to 8 months. Dave Lotman moved up to fire chief. Dave Brown moved up to deputy fire chief. And that's how it kind of operated at that point.
Yeah.
Come 2001, Dave Lotman retired from here. Was 30 years on.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. Went across the street and did building. Why? I don't know. That's his choice. I think he enjoyed it, so I was great.
Oh, yeah.
The building department used to be in our fire department.
Yeah, I recall that because they were here,
right,
and separated.
And he spent most of his time doing that, and Dave Brown ran the show here. So 2001, Dave goes across the street. Dennis McDougall promoted to chief. I promoted to lieutenant at that point, so now I'm sitting in the front seat and run our operations on our shift anyway. In 2007, Dennis McDougall retired. We brought in John Cummins. He was chief at that point. He left in 2012. I was made interim chief at that September 2012. March of 2013, I was got the promotion, became chief, and here it is.
Here we are, yeah.
6 years later.
No, that's great. Yeah. So how do you think? I know you kind of detailed it there in detail, but like how has it grown? Like the general numbers of those involved in the fire department to now, from when you started.
It is kind of strange if we'll go back in history a little bit.
Or how has like responsibilities changed? Like what's?
Oh gosh, everything's changed. It's a total. It's migrated to a different level at this point. The way the fire department was structured back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was 99% volunteer fire department with 3 full-time guys.
Mm-hmm.
It actually started with 1. That was a chief. Then it went to a driver on each shift of the chief. And then it progressed up. When I started here, we had 6 full-time and a chief and a deputy chief.
Yeah.
Now we are at 12 shift guys and a chief, 13.
Mm-hmm.
13 full-time. We are up to 12, I have to think here, but 13 volunteer and part-time guys at this point. Way back in the 70s, there was up to 30 volunteers here. Biggest change, and especially since 9/11, is the requirements that have come to this job because of things that happened, and they found out that we're not ready for this.
Yeah.
Basically, that happened.
So like made it harder for onboarding, like
It did. It's very difficult to get on here. We go through a testing process and so on and so forth. Money is not just a free flowing thing.
Oh, yeah.
And especially a town our size. Some of the bigger cities is not a big issue, but getting those people up to where we're at. Okay. You break it down into how many people do you need, and there's all kinds of formulas and things out there. Plain and simple. You need a guy to drive and operate the truck. You need a guy in charge, and you need 2 guys to go out and fight the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 4. That's where we're at. We got 3-man minimum of 4. When one of those guys is off, I'm considered the 4th guy. I'm the in charge guy. So we still maintain our 4 initial guys. Any less than that, you know, it's tough. It really is tough.
Yeah.
You know, we it takes a lot. These guys are in pretty good shape. Me, so much? No, not anymore. But there's a lot of things with this job. It is very difficult. We don't get a lot of thrashing, I guess, is the best way you put it. You don't ever make everybody happy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that, you know, the old adage is, if you don't know who to call, you call us. Yeah. Well, and that's still true, because we'll go on anything.
Yeah.
We'll see what it is. We've had some really goofy calls. Most of mine have came down to animals.
Oh. Can you expand on some odd calls that have come in your time here?
We got called one time for a lizard that got loose in a garage.
That's what you train for.
Yeah, we train every day for lizards. So we had no idea what we're getting into. So we go down to this house, and this garage is, it's junk everywhere. It's just full.
Most.
So we started walking up there, and somebody met us, and so what are we looking for? I can't remember what they called it, but something dragon.
Oh, Komodo.
Yeah, something along that.
Oh gosh.
It's not your little busy lizard.
Yeah.
It came running out of the garage and went up a tree. That thing was this long. Well, don't train for that. We'll be over here when if it bites somebody. So anyway, neighbor that wasn't afraid of this thing went in and finally corralled it. I don't know. That's goofy, but that one sticks out. And we got called for a exotic bird that got loose and got out the window. Okay.
Of a residence?
Yes. I don't know what you think I'm going to do about it, but we got called. So we're down there. It's on the north end of town, and they said, well, there it is, right up there. They're pointing up in this 30-foot high tree.
Great.
I just started laughing. I don't know what you want us to do about this.
Yeah.
I have one suggestion, but you're not going to like it, and that was blow the air horn and let it fly away, and we're all going, oh. But anyway, I don't know. I truly don't know what happened with that one. There's not a thing we can do about that, people. Cats and trees, that's kind of a myth. That's one of those myths. Other than we had a mayor a few years ago that called us to one, so what you can't say no.
Oh yeah.
So we went down and took care of that. And believe it or not, if you rattle food, they will come down.
Food is.
How many cat skeletons have you ever seen in a tree?
They don't have there.
They'll
Come
get
down.
down.
What's some misinformation generally around like fire departments working in one, or just the typical day-by-day operations?
That we sit around and play games all day, and that's not the case. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys are staying busy. They train hard. We have maintenance. We take care of the building. We're out flushing hydrants, testing hydrants, doing building walkthroughs, getting district familiarization. There's a lot going on here.
I'm
that
sure
we
just
do.
on the
But
building walkthroughs, like you need to make sure most areas are to code,
Yes,
and that's
we do inspections.
public buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot more than what people think. But there are still the ones out there that think we just sit here and don't do anything all day. But it's not the case. If like a day like today, it's going to be 95, 98 degrees, super high heat index. I'll tell these guys, go find some air conditioning and chill out, because if we have to go to work, guess what? We're
Going to work.
We're putting our winter clothes on and carrying 50 pounds with us, and we're going to work.
Yeah.
So, a little common sense there. It always used to bother me because we used to be called foundation savers. In other words, we let the house burn down.
Yeah.
We haven't burnt one down that far in 20-some years that I can remember.
Yeah.
We've gotten good at it.
It's good.
The bad thing is most fires you can't. Most houses will get torn down anyway, unless it's minor. But, not going to please everybody. A few weeks ago, we had a call that involved a dog. And this is something that, people don't really give it a thought. When people are upset when bad things happen. Well, you need to understand we have feelings too.
Yeah.
Okay. We are human. Some people don't think we are. We might be a little cold and crass at sometimes, but we're human. We got ridiculed for that because animals that don't have opposing thumbs can't act as humans.
Yeah.
The stuff we have is for humans, and we couldn't save a dog one day.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure you have
that bothers
operations.
us.
You have,
how that whole week went was, I don't even know what days they were. It doesn't matter. The day before that, we had a teenage suicide. We had a 3-month-old possibly died of SIDS. Those were all in both one day. Next day is we have to watch a dog perish.
Yeah.
Life's not easy for us. Misconceptions of that we're just cold and we can take all this stuff. It's not that easy. The accident we had out on 55 with a child.
Yeah.
That one, I'm not sure everybody understands, but this child was underwater for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And when we pulled him out, if we were gambling, we all would have bet the other direction.
Yeah.
The child came back and saw us, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
But, trying to deal with all that stuff, we call in people. We have people that come in and deal with this. It's amazing if you dig out the numbers of police and firemen that commit suicide.
Oh, yeah. Sure, mental health is a big issue.
It
You're
is.
probably reading articles
you
now.
Can't. Some people cannot let this stuff go, and that's a problem. And they need help. And
But yeah,
it's tough.
Again, you have your job to do. You're tasked with a lot, and yeah, we respect you for that. So, who would you think? I'm sure you've been in the service for quite a while, and you had many people to look up to. Who do you think has been an impact in your journey?
Oh, about everybody. I mean, Tim Murphy was a big part of this department before he passed away, and Dave Loatman, Dave Brown, a lot of knowledge of what they had. The guys current guys, I mean, the skills that they have and have learned or know, most of them do side jobs, and that skill that
Funnels
they know,
into
yes,
what they can provide here.
and it's amazing what we can do, and we've started progressing. We went through some progression, degression, rebuild, and now back to progression.
Yeah.
And that's a good way of putting the last 15 years, without going into details.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that these guys are very familiar with and good at is just amazing. What they can do, and then thinking outside the box, and it's amazing. Within the last 6 months to a year, we went and saved ducks out of drains.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a small part, but it's just amazing what these people.
The whole gamut of things you
Yes.
do, creative solutions offered by all the minds.
And,
Yeah.
and every one of us has went to fire school down in Champaign or up north or wherever, and there are just so many unique ideas out there.
Yeah.
On how people do things, and it's enlightening. I've
Yeah.
been doing this for a long time, and I still go out and learn something every day. It's interesting, and
That's good.
pinpointing actually certain people, not so much, because everybody's.
It's a journey. Yeah.
It is. I mean, I'd give my guys awards, every month for just being here,
Yeah.
because they're that good. It's
Awesome.
amazing. The city ought to be proud of who they have here. So
Great.
it's a good investment.
On to more fun things. You are retiring,
Mm-hmm.
so we're making this for. What are some big plans associated with that, if you have any, or what do you want to spend more time doing?
Need to get my house done. We started remodeling it about a year ago, and it just kind of stopped. So
Yeah.
it's time to get back on that. I don't really have a lot of plans. I've done, when I was on shift work, I did handyman work for so many different people,
Right.
and it's amazing. You don't have to look very hard to find something to do.
Yeah.
You really don't. Biggest thing that I need to do is I need to release some stress and just let it go.
Reset.
And it's tough. I've told a million people I haven't slept good in 30 years. I mean, I can't. I got to figure out how that works. I still get up in the middle of the night, whether I need to or not. I just wake up. So you do that long enough. These guys never sleep through the night, so ever.
Takes a toll on you.
It does
But
after a while.
you're going to have some you time.
Mhm.
So we love that for you.
Well, I'll find something to do. I don't know what.
Perfect. Well, you enjoy a safe, comfortable, fun retirement, and the city wishes you all the best.
Well, thank you very much.
Very well. Later.